Well, greetings, YouTube model people. How's it going? Okay, coming at you here with a final video. This is my final for the 2021 Cancer Awareness Group build. It is Monday, October 26, 2021. And first off, I want to thank Bob Boosking again for hosting this all-important group build that comes up once a year. Um, really, Bob, I can't thank you enough for keeping this awareness build going. It is, I think, so important to stay on top of something like cancer because it is such a common, unfortunately, illness these days. And it's very, very deadly and very vicious and can be, really, really just horrible. Even if you do beat it, it's always something I think would be in the back of your mind. Even if you're, in remission from cancer, it's just a horrible disease to be dealing with. And keeping awareness and keeping people aware of the different cancers out there and maybe even the different screenings you should be getting. Again, I'm going to get a little more into that in a minute. First, let's see what we got here for a final. So I did the NPC Mailbox Chopper, one of the, I guess it's 6 in the series choppers. A lot of fun, guys. Fun little build, not a lot of parts. Goes together pretty good. Really, the only area there that takes a little bit of work is the two halves here. You have to, if you don't even have to, but you fill the seam that goes down this way and on the back. So that takes a little bit of manual labor, and then paint. As always, hopefully your paint goes okay. But here we go. This is what we got. So yeah, this went together fairly well. A lot of fun. Just a lot of fun. Low part count. Just a good fun build. Um, and we'll go through the colors here, what they all represent. So we have lime green. This represents lymphoma. I have lavender there for the seat, which represents all cancers. One I failed to mention on the last update, which is the gold pipes in there. Gold represents childhood cancer, and then a little touch of medium blue here on the front, which is kind of unorthodox, but it's my build. I'll do what I want to do, right? That represents prostate cancer. So prostate cancer was well, we'll get to that in a minute. Let me just show the kit itself. So really, the decals, they give you lots of decals with this kit, and it's pretty cool. So you have definitely some different options you can take this build. So I used the roof decal, but then these I think are supposed to go along the sides, but I couldn't get these mailbox decals to fit along the side. And again, they look a little funky because they're still actually drying. I just finished this model about maybe 10 minutes ago. So they're still setting up. So they don't actually fit along the side, though. I think that's what they're supposed to do. Either that or I'm just not seeing it and just not on the ball here with the decals. And also with this one on the back. There was another option of decals you can put on either side, but again, when I tried to fit them on the side, they really didn't look like they could fit there. So, and they did take very fast to the paint. I don't know if that's the paint or the decal themselves, but once it's on there, you're not going to move and slide them around hardly at all. So, put a bit of a black wash here on the seat to show some detail. I probably went a little overboard. So once that's completely dry, because that is still wet, I'll go back and probably with a Q-tip and just take off the excess on the padding part. What's also neat, it just happened to be the colors were right on the money for me, is the clear lenses. They had either clear, green as you can see, lime green, or orange. I obviously went with the lime green to match the theme here, even on the back window. Super cool. They give you those options. Again, quite a few options for such a small kit. So definitely cool. So now about the cancers, we have blue. That represents prostate cancer. My uncle had prostate cancer. He's been clear of cancer for many years now in remission. So that's obviously great news. The gold represents childhood cancer. Again, I don't, fortunately, I do not know anyone who's had a child with cancer. I can't imagine how challenging that is. It's just got to be unbelievably difficult. Lavender, again, all cancers. So anybody, any cancer, whatever they are, we're representing that as well. And then one that's certainly very near to me is the lime green, which is my aunt who had a lymphoma. She has also been in remission for quite some time, but she does get screened um, twice a year. and get scans done just to make sure everything's okay. And luckily, everything is okay and has been for quite a number of years now. But sadly, my father was also diagnosed with lymphoma in 2015 and died from it in March of 2017. He had a rare form of lymphoma. It was a non-Hodgkin's angioimmunoblastic T-cell lymphoma, a rare aggressive form of it. He just wasn't able to. Basically, what happened was he went on chemotherapy, and the cancer kept coming back after a couple weeks of being clear, and then he went on immunotherapy for a short time. But again, the cancer kept coming back, which unfortunately with lymphoma, it does have a reputation of coming back. As we learned along that journey. So again, it just never gave up. And from all the treatments, my father's immune system was just too weak to handle it anymore. He was 79, and actually most of his life he was in incredible health. He never took a day off sick from work, so for something like this was quite severe, as you can tell. So real quick, and again, I think cancer awareness is not only just recognizing people and cancers that affect people near to you or not, just in general, is to just talk about your experiences. Again, I know it's a very sensitive subject, but if you can say really the cancer you're building, how maybe it came about, what was some of the symptoms or something maybe, or the treatments, and what worked or didn't work or whatever. I mean, whatever it be. Because that's this, to me, that's what awareness is about, right? So I adopted shortly after 9/11 here in the United States, when we had a terrorist attack, which really was huge eye opener, where they used the security tagline became "See something, say something." Well, it wasn't too long after that I adopted that for health, which is if you see something, say something. Nobody wants to be sick. Nobody wants to go to the doctor. Nobody wants to, find out bad news. But especially with cancer, if you see something that is unusual, you don't know what it might be, get it checked out. And real quick, with my father's cancer, that's a perfect example because his cancer started with a rash on his arm. Now, that one really seemed unusual at all for him because he used to love to spend a lot of time outdoors, working on the lawn, working on the bushes, and his vegetable garden, which he made every year for many, many decades. So one may think, okay, it was a bug, or it was some kind of plant or something, or weed that maybe gave him a rash. Well, he went to get it checked out, and the doctor immediately said, this is not an external problem. This is an internal problem. You need to go to a specialist. He went to a specialist, but in between that, he noticed he had an enlargement in his, just under his neck on one side, and it was a lymph node that was enlarged. So his primary doctor said, go check with an ENT specialist, and then that's where they did a biopsy and identified it as cancer. Now, strangely enough, I also saw an enlargement on my neck as my father was laying in the hospital, basically deathly sick. I had that checked out as well. Fortunate for me, it's not cancer. It was an autoimmune disorder that basically has no cure and no cause for, called sarcoidosis disease. But anyway, again, folks, not to ramble on here, but if you can share what type of cancer, how it was found, so everybody, as he said, you can't be careful enough with this terrible, horrible disease. Whether it's hit you closely or not, it's unfortunately more and more common that people are getting it, and it has to be, of course, the way we live and the things we ingest and that we're around and all that kind of stuff, unfortunately. But anyway, that's enough of that, folks. Again, thanks for all your comments on this project, and we'll talk to you later. Okay, cheers.